So yeah, for me personally, whether the game is made from the ground up or not, it is a remaster if it's very faithful to the original. And to me, remasters are absolutely allowed to add content and make slight changes. To me, it just varies on how much. It just depends on how much those changes are, how big those changes are, right? Because if we're talking about just quality of life improvements, I'm trying to think here, like being able to say skip dialogue faster, or being able to like getting in and out of fights is a little faster. Like little things like that to make the game not feel as much as like a crawl, or just to reduce player frustration, stuff like that. Mario, I am pleased that I could see you again. I detonated explosives after you left to ensure the base could no longer be used for evil. Of course, I was destroyed in the resulting explosion, but one day I regained consciousness and all was as before. Yes, everything. I do not comprehend why, but as I regained consciousness, I saw a light, and I thought I heard Peach's voice. How is Princess Peach? If she's happy, then I too am happy. I continue to hope for the continued happiness of you, Peach, and all others. Okay. Can't remember if we had Goombella Tattle on him before, so we'll see. Unless you can't. It's computer room, this must be where Princess Peach went to protect. Oh, she can't. That's unfortunate. I'm stepping all over your buttons. And I think it's important to like remember that, because I just don't think like a game should be classified as a remake if it says for example adds in like an extra shop or even like a super boss. I just don't think, to me, like, again, I don't think that's enough. Plus I would say it's more important if they are changing the main journey of the game itself. If you are adding in basically post-game content or optional stuff, that doesn't have as big of an impact, because there are people who will not do that, obviously. There are people who may decide, oh, I'm not interested enough to go through with that, right? Or I'm not a guy that wants to go get my ass kicked by a super boss. I don't feel like proving myself that I can do that, right? It's up to the individual player. And again, if you go through the main story and it's virtually identical to the original, I would say it's a remaster. And I know this has been like a talking point for the most part, and like I wouldn't be surprised if in almost every recording session I've talked about this a little bit here and there. I know early on for sure, because I wasn't sure myself what to classify it as. And like, you know, I know I'm repeating myself a lot with this, but it is important that at the end of the day I'm saying this is how I'm classifying the game. It may not be the same to everyone else. Some people will absolutely say, well, remade it from the ground up, so it has to be considered a remake. And that's fine. I will present my argument for why I don't consider it that way. But at the end of the day, like, those people are allowed to say, you know, this is my belief. And to me, there just isn't a strict guideline on that kind of thing, right? That's how I feel about it. Because I just think if you're getting into like a situation where remake can also mean a game that is identical to the original, then it's like, what's the point of also having the term remaster? Because then I think if anything that becomes more confusing, you know? If you can have a game that's a remaster and a remake, and The only difference is that one is where they redid the game from the ground up, but it's identical to the original, versus one that it's just a new coat of painting, right? They use the same code, but it's just a new coat of painting over the visuals. That's where it becomes such a slippery slope, and that's why I think it's better that a remake be something that is more tangible, that is more like makes the experience itself actually different, especially in the main quest, what every player will go through if they want to finish the game. So hopefully that's the last I'll say on this whole remake versus remaster argument. It is, I'm just, stop holding the mouth open, VC face. I know it's probably tiresome to hear about it at this point. All I can do is say that it's just how I feel about it. And I am very, open to people trying to change my mind about it. I will listen to any arguments, any, there's a better word for it. I don't want to necessarily arguments, but like, reasoning that you consider a remake. But this game is so faithful to the original that you'll be hard-pressed to convince me otherwise. And again, I know this game was redone from the ground up. I get that. Anyway, let's talk to Lady Bo. So good this year. In HD. I was gonna say fashioned up, but I was like, I don't think that really means. It is you, isn't it, Mario? Well, it's been quite a while, hasn't it? I've come here with Bootler, yes. A little vacation to Poshly Sanctum. I hadn't left the mansion in ages. I figured it was time to turn some heads on the road. Wahahaha. But what a nice surprise to see you. Feel free to be overwhelmed by my beauty. Lady Bo, your beauty is like the song of a nightingale in the evening. Indeed. I feel you've grown into a fine young girl who'd make your ancestors proud. Bootler. He's Bo Butler. He's Bo's butler. But what does a butler do exactly? It looks like he only listens to Bo, so I guess he wouldn't answer me if I asked. That's Bo. Wait a second, Mario, exactly what is your relationship with her? Tell me now! Hehehehe, just kidding. I always wanted to say that. But you did go on an adventure with her, right? Tell me sometime, okay? Oh my god, this means we can hit them. So, like I've said, unfortunately, and I have no reason to not believe the people that told me this, or the person rather, but they did not, sadly, add in the other party members from the first game. I must have changed something, or it's just the lighting, because it seems to be a lot more sensitive to when my mouth's open right now. Yeah, it's really sensitive to it right now. I've been waiting for you, mister. See, I got in a fight with my mom, and I want to make it up to her. So I wrote her a letter, and I want to give her a present, but I don't know what to get. I've narrowed it down to 3 things. Could you help me decide? Mushroom cake. You guys think mushroom cake is the way to go? I do. He's got great taste, so I'm sure it'll go over well. You also have to go find the mushroom cake and bring it here. Because, they don't sell those things here. Okay, well, it sounds straightforward enough for what the ingredients for that would be. And it's such a shame to me because, like, listen, adding in the Prince Mush fight, absolutely awesome. But if you wanted to go the extra mile to really wow fans who, like me, kind of looked into, like, was curious about some of the cut content, some of the files in the game, Because the files for all your original party members to be here somewhere, like in one of the chapters hanging out, is there, from my knowledge. In the original again. They just, again, it didn't get finished for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this. Because I'm probably gonna have a few boo shoots on me for Prince Mush. Why not? We'll just go the full. Even the great Mario, even the great hero Mario should relax once in a while. What can I do for you? I'll trade in my not so winnings. Anything else I can do for you? I might actually save the games for later in the parlor. I kind of want to do what I did in the original, which is I played those at the very end of it, and I think it's just kind of a nice way to wind down than coming off of, say, the Pit of 100 Trials or Prince Mush. There's a video that shows like all boss fights in TYDR, and it shows the wacky guy, the one you whack on the head for the whack-a-bumps or whatever. It shows him on there, and I don't know if that's just a joke or if he's actually like, if there's a secret fight with him or something. So again, there's a few things I need to look into, because I don't want to jump into that last recording session assuming I can get everything done in that one. If it drags on too long, obviously I'll have to make an exception. But I want to make sure I know everything left that I want to do for it before I, jump into it. Plus, I'm gonna be wanting to prepare everything. I'm gonna need to do some cooking and a bit of strategizing. I'm gonna say this for Prince Mush: I'm not planning on looking up a strategy guide for the best setup to use to beat him. I know I know Antifreeze is really good at super guarding, and apparently that brings his defense down. I can't rely on something like that. I'm not good enough. I don't think I've successfully done a single super guard this entire playthrough. I think I want to say, I think there was one in the training, because I decided to go through with that, and there might have been one outside of that. I don't think there was, though. Use 2 items. It should be pretty straightforward, I imagine. It's called mushroom cake, so... Wait a sec while I flex my culinary muscles. Kind of sad she doesn't use the oven for when it's a cake item. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not entirely sure that you like this. Go on, take a stumpy. Mushroom cake. I want to guess them having the help in Postulate Heights is probably their way. And I mean this for the original, not just the remaster, but it's probably their way of getting players to see Lady Bow. Did you bring a mushroom cake from my mom? Yahoo, a mushroom cake. Thanks, mister. I'll just attach this letter and we're done. But I'm afraid to give it to her. She may still be mad. Can you give it to her and come back, please? You got a present. Yes, I can do that for you, bud. Oh, it says chapter 7. I don't know, maybe she mistyped it, put in chapter 8 earlier. I swear I read it as 8, but also it could just be me. Oh, hello, Gonzalez. Do you need something? Present. From the little bub, you say? Why, here's a letter. Let me just read it. Dear lovely mama, I'm so sorry I didn't do my homework. From now on, I'll do my homework and try to be a good bum mom like Papa. And I will give you a good food and a nice house. And a pretty hat. So please don't hate me. I'm Bub. Oh, I'm just going to break down and cry here. Oh, how delightful. Ah, ah. Oh, Gonzalez, don't mind my tears. They are joyful ones. I just wanted to tell Bub something for me. Tell him I'm not angry. I was just being stern because I love him and care about his future. I never meant to hurt his little feelings by it. And I'm sorry I lost sight of that. Gonzalez, please bring my little Bub back to me now.